Friend, 1%er. Are you tired of me calling you that, or should I stop that?
Oh Lord, Dennise, if you stop calling me, I will get vexed with you. All right. So
Okay, so I could
that's why I keep
continue.
saying, whatever you want to call me is fine. And I words ready, name calling ready don't matter to me.
Welcome, Stephen. What's on your mind today?
Um, what's on my mind, boy? I'm getting a little uneasy feeling about our island nation. I don't find it stabilized. I don't find the rhetoric coming out of the officialdom is welcoming. I find everybody is kind of edgy. I don't get that nice, easy Caribbean wind blowing through the coconut trees and beautiful landscape. I'm not getting what we should be feeling on a Caribbean island. I get this feeling that there is something that is happening on this island that we are not aware of, or it's right in front of us and we're not seeing it. I don't know. It is a bit uneasy, the rhetoric, the way people are shut down. Wrong word to use. The way people are told to shut up. Look at this issue with the AI infrastructure. It's a boss investment. A lot of money. Those AI centers cost billions of US dollars, and that's fine. That's not an issue. It's the same way if they say we just had a big gas find off of Galeota. Is the petroleum industry as polluting as a AI industry? I don't know. Okay, I would think that properly regulated, if you want to put AI centers in Trinidad, there's a lot that has to go into it. And I agree with the Honorable Prime Minister that, all we did was sign an MOU. But if you're signing an MOU, does that mean you know nothing about how this thing happens? But you have a fair knowledge of what happens, and then you're going to need to be able to tailor it to our own local conditions here. In the United States, you see people, well, I see in Germany now too, okay? It's the same thing, that communities are raising their voices when it comes to these AI centers being located in their communities. I don't think it's going to make any difference, really, if you install it in Trinidad. It's going to be the same issues. AI requires tremendous amount of electrical power. Does our grid have that? So that's something we need to know. As far as I know, Trinidad has surplus power between the three power plants that we take our electricity from. But what is it? And if you take power from those plants, does that mean your surplus is reduced by such an amount that you have no backup for the population? All right. So building infrastructure, building it out, and bringing power to a center is not a main issue as far as I'm concerned. We've done that 100 times before. All right. Water. The cooling systems on these installations require tremendous amount of fresh water. And when I say plenty water, they're talking millions of gallons of water. Huh? This is not no garden hose water you spraying down something with, all right? This thing requires a tremendous amount of water for cooling. Is the cooling water going to be desal water? Is it going to be fresh water? Is the fresh water going to be recycled? All of these are things that we have to be mindful of. And you have to, and the government has to be mindful that there are citizens in this country that don't get water for 3 weeks, don't get water for a month. There are citizens in this country that pray for rain, okay? Because the WASA system does not allow them to get 24/7 supply of water. So if you can guarantee, now the old water for all slogan has been around for I don't know how many decades, all right? And we still can't get it right. If you can tell the population, look, we are going to be doing all of this. We're going to fix your water supply. We're going to guarantee that your electrical power is going to be stable and continuous. And we are going to make sure that that happens. Nobody is going to suffer. No community in this country is going to suffer as a result of this investment. Then I think that Trinidad and Tobago, for the most part, would back the investment.
My observation is that we never really get the details. What we get is something that they're going to do, and then it happens. And as you talked about water in this country is not available. If you do not have a water tank in your house, you don't have water. So for us
Yes.
to now bring in a whole industry that is going to focus a lot more on water and a lot more on electricity, then what are we doing? Because our water and our electricity are not well organized.
I don't know if you remember when the smelter plant was being discussed. Okay, there was a huge amount of fallout from that. Okay, because where they were putting it was down in Chatham. Chatham just so happens, Dennise, to be one of the largest aquifers on the island. Okay, freshwater aquifers on the island. That is what Chatham is. And you're going to, and I mean, okay, I am not a geologist, I am no engineer, I am not no professional who could size up all of this thing in one formula and what have you. The fact of the matter is, they knew that Chatham was this aquifer, and that is where they were going to put a smelter plant. You know what the waste on a smelter plant is? What it does to the groundwater and all of that? It destroys it, not for a day, a week, a month. It destroys it forever. Okay? Once you pollute an aquifer, that is the end of that aquifer. Come back in about 500 years and it might correct itself. No, that is fact.
Yeah.
Okay? So when you when you uh, when you make these statements as to where this thing is going to, why DB or DB? Why not Waterfield? Waterfield has a humongous property up in Waterfield where the American Air Base was that is a nothing place. There's nothing outside there. T&TEC have a whole industrial park outside in Waterfield. Why not put the center? Because these centers don't hire thousands of people. Huh? These centers hire between maybe 150, 200 people to operate the centers because the centers are all 100% automatic. There's no work really and truly to be done at these centers. So have we considered other areas that are not going to be as dangerous as some other areas when it comes to how are you supplying the population with amenities?
But it's typical of how our politicians function. And once they get into power, they make some decisions and they kind of ignore the population. They do not continue decisions or continue strategies that had been implemented before. They ignore it, they move away, so that every time we have a new political party or a new set of government, things are thrown away and new things come. So we always starting it over. And that is something that I just find absolutely difficult. So for instance, nobody has improved WASA over the last 60 years. How do you feel about me saying that? WASA has not improved in the last 60 years.
Well, I woke up this morning to just around the corner from where I live to going on 3 weeks now, a water main that was busted 3 weeks ago. Okay, with I check. I mean, I'm going to check the water pump. Okay, the WASA pump. That WASA pump is producing 300 gallons a minute. Okay, and when I look and I say, okay, how many minutes is water flying out from the water main? Okay, how long is that? What, overnight? So 12 hours. Okay, when you work out the loss, okay, in good potable water, just literally going down the drain, and multiply that by how many communities have to live through that every single day of life. And the Water and Sewerage Authority, responsible for it, cannot even have a workable plan to say when there is a busted main, you have 24 hours to fix the main. You have 12 hours to fix the main. Okay? I don't think that WASA have anything in, as a friend will tell you, in written writing, okay, to that the WASA people can work with and say, yes, we achieve a 90% reliability and whatever, and this and that, or efficiency. When WASA ready to fix the main, that is when the main is going to be fixed. What is wrong with you all? 60 years that happening and nobody can get vexed.
But here's something, my observation. Every 2 years on the Digger Mountain Main Road, there is uh, I don't know, is a pipe or if it's just a pump or whatever that breaks open. And there are about three places that end up with deep holes of water. And it happens every 2 years, eh? And at that time, when people are driving, they try to drive around it. You know, someone said to me the other day, listen, I am not going to pass it. I'm going to go down to the highway, go down to the next exit and come back up to go home. Now, when people
Yes.
are doing that because WASA is just not functioning, then what we expect is as a government comes into power, you start to focus on how could you transform WASA. You see, because this beautiful island that we live in, there's some basics that it must have. And those basics for me start off with water is a basic. I shouldn't have to buy tanks. Most people have 3 and 4 tanks in their house, just to make sure they have water all the time. And now you are
I
looking,
find you checking up on me. But anyway, go ahead.
and no, you see, you always want to be personal about this. Anyway, so how many tanks you have? Don't answer. But to see the
I like
government,
I one of the fellas that like to bathe them and start up in the shower and ladder up, all right, and bathe and bathe. Anyway,
so
sorry.
you waste water.
I don't waste water. All right, there's been plenty. No, but Denise, when you go, I give this joke. When you drive around any of the other islands, and the islanders, okay, will tell you anytime you see a black tank in a yard, a water tank in a yard, it's because of Trini living there, you know.
Because
Because they
that's
say yeah, we don't need, our water supply is continuous, it's 24/7, okay? And these are islands that don't have the water supply that Trinidad has, huh? Because Trinidad, like Guyana, is very, very fortunate that we have natural water in the ground, okay, that we can produce. These are the islands that, the rainfall is a lot less than what we have. And they don't have it. I marvel sometimes when I go to the islands and you wake up in the morning, you see a busted main outside. You go to the beach, you come back, the busted main is fixed.
yes, yes, but that's not Trinidad. That's not
No,
Trinidad.
that's not Trinidad.
Our busted mains leak for days, sometimes for months. It
Months.
it often leaks and then destroys the road that it is leaking in. So, Stephen, all of this going very negative, very, very negative. So, what is your conclusion about this AI international piloting that we're doing?
I would say that for the investment, it's not a bad thing. Okay, I think properly worked out and to really and truly look at the logistics. Don't play politics with it. Okay, let's not do that with this. Okay, let us be very, very real and practical about it, about what the effect is going to be on communities, etc., etc. And can the existing system service the planned AI build? Okay, and if it cannot, what has to happen, and who is paying for that? Okay, because we always we want people to come here and what have you, and when they say, well, we need a road or we need a bridge, oh, all right, sorry, yeah, we go find the money to build the road or the bridge. No, let's really and truly, and again, and I agree with the Prime Minister, don't let all of us dive off the deep end without being educated and aware of what this thing is going to mean to the country. What is the payback? Because we always rush in to give away all kind of thing. All right. What is going to be the payback to the country? How is the taxpayer, how are the citizens going to benefit from it? And what are the pitfalls that we have to be aware of? Okay. So let's be practical about it and take it from there. And I would so before I jump up and ball, drag out my no smelter plant and ball no AI. Before I go and do that, we want to know, educate us. What is this deal and how is it going to affect people? And have consultations. Let people come and ask questions that they feel are necessary.
Well, this thing, you're trying to transform the way that governments operate, and they really ignore the population until the next election, and that's where we are. Is there any other issue that's on your mind these days?
I find this daily headline about threats. Every day you're reading about this person is being threatened, that person is being threatened. And I don't understand how every day these threats are happening. And I don't read a second article saying X, Y, and Z have been arrested for threatening people. I read the other day, they say a former cabinet minister is threatening a current cabinet minister. Now, does the former cabinet minister have a name? I assume that there's a name that you can refer to. Okay, where is that former cabinet minister? Is that former cabinet minister on island? Did he run to Panama? Where is he or she? I'm sorry, I shouldn't assume it's a he. Could be a she. Okay, and so what is the man in the street supposed to glean from that? You have a public statement being made that a former cabinet minister has threatened the life of a current cabinet minister. Okay, and that's the end of the article.
And here's something, Stephen. That can't be the end of the article, because having said that, it means you know the person's name. And you know the person's name, then what are you doing? Shouldn't that person be charged because of what they've done? Or are you just going to continue saying a former this, that makes no sense. So to me, all these issues that we are dealing with, we just do not seem to have a systematic approach to reducing them or to responding to them. And if we don't have a systematic approach, we're going to end up in real trouble.
Yes, because I mean you're scaring the population. Okay, people frightened now to voice an opinion. Long 2 months ago on social media, all kind of thing people talking about. Okay, now boop, everybody hush them out. Yes, as they say, hush them out, let people like you. No, but I mean we have a right in a democratic society to voice an opinion. Okay, and as far as I'm concerned, that is my constitutional right to have a difference of opinion with you or anybody else. Okay, threatening people's lives is another whole other story. And if it is that the authorities know of threats being made by a particular person against a particular person, then I would think that it is one law for everybody. You can't have one law for one set of people and then another law for another set of people, depending. Okay, all of us fall under the same constitution. So I find it is a little too much every single day. Threat, kill, all of that. I mean, and as I say, and absolutely nothing is being done as far as I'm concerned, because you're very quickly going to pick up people without a charge. Here it is that apparently you have details on what was said and by who and what have you, and then nothing is done. I tell you, like the person who called the 999 line, not to report a incident, but to threaten the police commissioner. And Mr. 999 put on the phone and he gone home, and that's it.
And what is amazing about that, Stephen, is that someone has called the 999 and that person has not been charged. That person has not been publicly identified. We get this story about it. So sometimes when you get those stories, I certainly start to think, who they feel they're fooling, boy, you know? And that to me is an issue, that we're not always as honest and as open as we should be.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I would say that in this particular case, yes, because I would assume that any emergency call center records every single call and conversation that comes into that center.
Yes.
How are you going to manage the center if you don't have that? And therefore, there are other people, other than the operator that particular call went to. There are other people who are listening on the system legally, okay, and can manage how effective is the emergency system operating, okay? How else are you going to manage it?
That's a hard question because how we manage the future of our country is important. Hey, we have a beautiful country. I want to see things change tremendously so that the country continues to be a place that I love. What is your goodbye statement?
Before you go, based on what you're saying, I wanted to know they have confirmed that the Independence Parade is on. So we have a dancing back on the scene this year. All right. So I want everybody to go down. We're going to look for the dancing backhoe.
You agree with the dancing backhoe? So, welcome to Independence again this year. We're spending $2 million on it, and we're going to have a dancing backhoe. Thank you ever so much, Stephen.
Goodbye, Dennise.